nothing but the dog in me.
Why must I chase the cat?
Good evening and welcome to Pound Posse Presents. Or I should say welcome back. It's been 3 weekends since we had a show. The first weekend that I missed was because I was under the weather, and the next 2 were because of the weather. And this has been such a brutal winter. Of course, we don't have snow tonight. They didn't call the shows because of sunny skies, thank God. But, you know, we're expecting more snow this week, and it's overwhelming. I don't know what we did to make anybody mad, but we're certainly paying for it with this weather, the cold and the snow. You know, once again, I'm going to throw it out there, keep your pets inside. I'm seeing too many things where, you know, animals are left out, freezing to death. It's not cool. If it's too cold for you, it's too cold for them. So do yourself a favor, do your pets a favor, keep yourselves warm, keep your pets warm, and be careful out there driving. I see lots of crazy accidents too, unavoidable with this weather, but if everybody kind of keeps calm and does their thing, everybody will stay safe. And speaking of weather, I'm almost excited for a little bit of snow. Some of you know that I've been without a vehicle for a couple of months now, and through the miracle of a lot of people helping me out, I am now back in my own wheels, and it feels good, and I'm grateful, and I thank everyone who helped make it possible, and I look forward to being out and about a whole lot more, attending more events, and you know, going places and seeing people and doing things that I was limited about before. So look for me, because I'll be out there. It won't be safe in the general population, but it's all good. Anyway, I want to start tonight with some dogs that are in need of homes. It's been kind of rough. You know, I put together at least 2 shows that didn't happen. And, you know, things change, and dogs do get adopted, and some dogs don't get adopted. But tonight's got a whole new list. Some of them are the same. But, you know, you can't always reuse a show. And, you know, damn this weather, too, because I've had a guest trying to come on the show for at least a month now. And the weather just keeps getting in the way. So maybe now we're getting a little closer to it tapering off, and I can have this fabulous guest who shall remain nameless because you know how I do. Anyway, I'm going to start tonight with Spencer. And Spencer is stunning. Look at this boy. He is starting to break down being in the kennel. He's been at North Haven Animal Control since October 10th. And so, you know, his time starts to run short. They generally don't keep an animal more than 6 months. And, you know, unfortunately, when an animal starts to break down, it becomes even more difficult to hang on to them, even though, you know, they have prospects or not for a home. So, you know, he's such a good boy, and he is, you know, people obviously believe in him. Bikers Against Animal Cruelty actually had him neutered and vaccinated. So, you know, there's got to be a belief in this dog. He gets along with other dogs. He loves people. He needs some basic training, but, you know, any dog that's been cooped up in the pound environment or in a kennel has, I don't want to say issues, because it's not really issues, but, you know, there needs to be an adjustment. They need to get it all out of their system. They need to settle into a home. You know, they've missed out on day-to-day living and, you know, commands. Basically just learning how to be a dog again and what to do and what not to do. So, you know, he'll need a little tune-up, so to speak, but that's not the worst thing in the world. He's definitely going to be somebody's best friend, and he's going to bring joy into somebody's life. I know there's another picture there of him, Zach, so let's take a look at that one. I mean, look at that face. Look at that dog. He is gorgeous. I can't imagine with, you know, a great personality and such good looks that he would be running out of time. And, you know, he's running out of time because he's starting to stress out more than anything else. So if you can give Spencer a home, that would be a beautiful thing. He is at North Haven Animal Control. They're at 18 Church Street, and their number is 203-239-5321. Once again, that's 203-239-5321. And, you know, I know somebody who has interacted with this dog, and she says he is just wonderful. So, you know, from a firsthand account of his personality and, you know, just that he's such a good dog, no dog deserves to be in a kennel, and no dog deserves to stress out because of it. But, you know, there are people who I know that obviously believe in this dog, and please, someone give him a chance, give him that opportunity to have a home and to get a life instead of the alternative. Once again, this is Spencer, and he's at the North Haven Animal Control. Their number's 203-239-5321, and I'm sure you won't be sorry. And if you want to foster him, you know, reach out to a shelter, do something to help. You know, if you can't foster or adopt him, share all of these dogs tonight. They're on the Pound Posse Presents Facebook page. You know, it's really easy. You click share, and, you know, you may be able to put these dogs in front of the eyes of the people who will fall in love and want to take them home. On to the next. These are some dogs from Yonkers Animal Shelter. We have Harley, and Harley is gorgeous. He's affectionate. He's playful. He's at the shelter longer than anyone would have thought. The best home for him would be without other dogs, but he does like some dogs. You know, so if you want to put him in a situation where there's another dog in the home, you would definitely have to probably do a couple of meet and greets. You know, sometimes dogs do okay the first time, not the second time, or vice versa. So it would have to be, you know, you'd have to be slow and easy with it and see if there's a match there. But, you know, just because a dog, I always say this, doesn't like other dogs doesn't mean that they're bad dogs. You know, people don't like other people, and it doesn't make them bad people. You know, it's an individual thing. It just makes these dogs a little harder to find homes for. But, you know, they're out there. And, you know, if you can't adopt, maybe you can foster. There are always options to foster. And, you know, with Yonkers, all you really have to do is contact them, and, you know, surely they'll be happy to work something out with you. The next dog we have is Chief, and Chief is another stunner. He started getting frustrated in the kennel. You know what happens, folks. You know, they go crazy. Think about being, you know, in an environment so hectic and loud with other dogs. You don't have, you know, really you have like just a little space to be in. Very confusing, very not what an animal is used to. So yeah, Chief started getting frustrated in the kennel. The volunteers believed in him, and he went into training, and he's doing much better. And now Chief is ready to go home. And if I'm not mistaken, when Jennifer was here from Yonkers, we did talk about Chief. So he's been there a while, and it's so sad to see them languish. Supposedly he gives great kisses, and he gives big old bear hugs. He too is also looking to be the only pet and to go to someone with some large breed experience. Chief's adoption fee is sponsored. He comes with one session with his trainer, and the shelter stands behind Chief. You know, Yonkers is really good like that. They stand behind their animals for life. So, you know, if there's any issues, if he needs additional tune-ups with the trainer, you know, they'll be there to help you. So you're really not taking that big a risk. You know, sometimes you adopt a dog from a pound, it's, you know, no return, no deposit, you know, there's no recourse if you run into problems. But With Yonkers, that's not the case. So, you're not risking more than you should taking a dog that, has been through training and may need a little extra TLC. Chief actually has his own Facebook page, which is called Saving Chief, and you can check that out. And, again, if you can't do anything to take him into your home, then by all means, please share him. He's ready to go. He's had his time of getting ready, and it's time. The next dog from Yonkers is Stucky. Stucky is 6 or 7 years old, and he also is starting to fail behind bars. He's growing depressed and frustrated, and, it really is. It's so sad to watch. These dogs so far are kind of all in the same boat. They sit there for too long, and, it's not the environment for them. Now, Stucky wants your undivided attention. He does need a home with no other pets, and he needs to be in a home where he won't be left alone for long periods of time. So, if you're in a home where people are working part-time or work a lot from home, it would be the best situation for him. He's also in need of being in a quieter home. He's smart, he's affectionate. The volunteers absolutely love him. And he really does need to find a home soon, or a foster. A permanent home is always preferable, but a foster home at least gets them out of that awful situation of being, cooped up and going crazy. So by all means, consider Stucky. Again, if you can't take him home, share him. The next dog in Yonkers is Hayes, and I know that we talked about Hayes the last time Jen was here as well, so she's been waiting and waiting and waiting. She's a 4-year-old lowrider. She was given up because she got into a scuffle with the other dog in the house she lived in. It may have been the best thing to give her up, and not keep her in a position where, she could be hurt anymore by this other dog. But of course now, because of that, she's very leery of other dogs. So caution and care will have to be put into placing her if there's another dog in the home. An only dog, that would be great for her, someone who would understand and not put her into the position of having to really interact too much with others, until she maybe feels more comfortable. But she's beautiful, she's sweet, she's curious, she's affectionate. Her ideal situation, if there's kids in the home, would be older kids. She does have some resource guarding, so if she gets a toy, she doesn't give it up too easily. So, you wouldn't want to put her in a house with with smaller kids, only because, that's setting everybody up to fail. Hayes needs a little structure and some rules, and, just somebody to be the boss and kindly show her the way. So those are the dogs from Yonkers, and you can contact Leslie M 147 at gmail.com. Once again, that's LESLIEM 147 at gmail.com, or you can call 201-981-3215. Once again, that's 201-981-3215. And we move on to a couple of dogs, or a few dogs, from the West Haven Animal Shelter. We have first up is Snow. Now, Snow, poor Snow. In my opinion, it's probably the most cruel and confusing thing to take a dog home and then return it. Unfortunately, that's just what happened to Snow. Snow was adopted, and she was only gone for a few hours. Apparently, the family underestimated her energy level, and they have small children in the home. Well, one of Snow's problem is that she's deaf, and she's a 9-month-old puppy. So you put all that together, and, I'm not trying to point any fingers or be cruel or anything, but I think that it was an adoption that wasn't done well. I would never have put her in that position at all. But that's just me. And again, I'm not trying to harp on anybody's failures. It's just, it bothers me that this poor dog went out, thought, you know, woohoo, I'm home, and, you know, got returned. And again, this goes back to the fact that dogs need time to settle in. You know, they don't get home and just, you know, necessarily chill out. They're being sprung from the hoosgow, so to speak. And, you know, they're full of energy. It's pent up energy because they've been in the kennel for so long. They need time to understand that they're home. They need time to understand the rules of the house. You know, they're gonna be hyper. A lot of times people get put off with a dog because when they go to visit it in a kennel environment and it comes out of the kennel for, you know, it's been cooped up for how long, you know, they may get out when they're at the pound or the shelter, but, you know, they don't get out often, so they've got all this pent-up energy. You know, they have to get that out before they settle in. So is it possible this may have worked with this family? You don't know. But in the end, poor dog is back in the pound and still looking for a home. So anyway, I just want to say that, like I said, she's 9 months old. She's deaf. She's good with other dogs. They're not sure about how she is with cats. You know, remember, she's only a puppy, and she's going to need more time to settle in. Again, because she's a puppy, because she's been kenneled up, and, you know, you've got the special needs going on that she's deaf. So she needs a home where someone will train her, will understand her, will, you know, work with her and stand by her through thick and thin. You know, these dogs really deserve a chance. Like I said, yeah, they're like a little crazy when they get out of the kennel, but they settle in. You know, give them love, give them patience, give them time, and, you know, things will work out. You've got to exercise them and, you know, kind of like drill the routine into them and just give them a chance because they deserve it more than anything else. We've got 3 dogs that were turned into West Haven as well. They are just little guys. First up is Summer. Summer is a spayed 10-year-old, and it's just the cutest little thing. Look at her. We've got Holly. That's okay, Zach's with me. We've got Holly, who is a spayed 10-year-old, and we've got Snoopy, who is a neutered 6-year-old. Now, all of these dogs are very sweet. Unfortunately, they were an owner surrender. They all lived together, so they would like very much to stay together. You know, it's got to be really hard. It's got to be very confusing, you know, to be at that age and to lose your home. I don't know the circumstances under which they were surrendered, but you've got to figure that, you know, they were in the home most of their lives, if not all of their lives, and, you know, now they're where they are, and it's overwhelming for them. So yeah, they're their own little pack. They'll be like an instant family, and, you know, they would probably make someone very happy. I would love to have all 3 of them myself, but I can't bring another living thing into my house. But really, this is like a ready-made family. And if you've got other little ones, probably would work really well too. You could have a little herd of Chihuahuas, which would be cool. But anyway, if you can give any of the dogs at the West Haven Animal Shelter your love, your time, your home, you can call 203-937-3642. Once again, that's 203-937-3642. And that's it for tonight's dogs. I'll take the camera back for a hot second, and I just want to talk about a story that some of you may or may not know about, and that is Canine Carson, who is a police dog who was at the kennel, and the owner left the dog. I don't remember the conditions that he left the dog, but the dog was there, and they had removed the dog's collar and were about to bathe him. and he broke away. He got out. He left the building, just like Elvis. And he was missing for 2 months. And, you know, if you followed the page at all, or you can go back on the Facebook page, it's K9 and then Carson with a K. His owner, his handler, went above and beyond, out there every day trying to find him. There were people just calling in sightings and, you know, going crazy, trying to help find him, you know. It was heartbreaking to read the gentleman's posts about, you know, trying to find his buddy and his best friend and worrying about him out in the cold and the snow. The most beautiful thing of all was to find out at the end of the story, he's been found, he's been returned, and the person who helped that happen, who helped make that happen, was none other than Jordina, who is Andy's mom. So let's get that picture up of the reunion here. This is a beautiful picture. This is, of course, after they were, you know, reunited. This looks like it was probably back at the police station. But talk about a happy man. This officer was just beside himself. Jordina poured herself into trying to find this dog for 7 weeks, her and her team of dogs. And it didn't come out that Jordina was involved until the end, because they were trying to keep it on the down low, to keep, you know, some unnecessary attention away from it. But to see that, you know, Carson is back home, he's been going through his paces and his you know, the stuff that police dogs do to train, like he's never been gone. He's just amazing, and it's you know, kudos to Jordina, who I always have had the utmost respect for. I still wish that she would get the opportunity to have the reunion with her dog Andy. After 3 years, it would be amazing to see that happen and to attend that after party, because that's been just too long in coming. But there is Officer Pop and K9 Carson back in the saddle, and it's a beautiful thing. I will take the camera back, and I'm going to put out there a request that I had today for someone who is actually looking to adopt. You know, sometimes it's reverse. Instead of someone needing their dog adopted, someone is looking to adopt a dog. Now, I already have a couple of suggestions that I've presented to the person, but there is someone I know who has been referred to me, who is looking to adopt an older adult or senior black lab or husky. The gentleman is a truck driver, so the dog would be out on the road with him. There is a home that they will go to on their breaks. But, you know, I always give kudos to the people who don't just want a puppy, who want the older dogs, who want senior dogs. That's, to me, you know, there are angels. And, you know, that's just what this gentleman is looking for, is, you know, an older dog that's, you know, lower energy, you know, doesn't want to have to train a puppy. God knows I don't want to have to train a puppy, so, you know, I've got nothing against that. So if anybody knows of a dog, excuse me, I'm dying of dry throat right now. If anybody knows of a dog that's in need of a home, like I said, an older husky or black lab, please contact me either through Facebook on the Pound Posse Presents page, or you can email me at pawprints713@aol.com. That's PAWPRINTS 713@aol.com, and I will make the connection between the person and the dog. Like I said, there's been a couple of suggestions made already, and, you know, we're going to put those out there to the person looking to adopt. But, you know, there's always, you know, if there's choices, you know, you can make the best one. This poor gentleman did end up putting his 14-year-old husky down today because it was time. So, you know, if someone has a dog to 14, that says a lot. I don't know how long he had him, but, you know, it was his buddy and his partner. And, you know, it's devastating to lose a dog, no matter what the circumstances are. And, you know, I know there's a lot of people who don't particularly agree with having a dog out on the road, but, you know, sometimes you have to make an adoption that's sort of out of the box. You know, look at the deaf dog that went to a family, and I'm sure they thought it was a great idea, but you know, maybe there's another situation that's not all white picket fence, where a dog will be loved and well taken care of and provided for, you know, that doesn't fit everybody's perfect ideal of an adoption. You know, if more places would look at that, maybe that we would have some better adoptions out there, and dogs wouldn't get returned or set up to fail, and you know, everybody'd live happily ever after, instead of, you know, having more problems down the road. Yeah, the white picket fence thing is great, you know, the family with the kids and, you know, the whole 10 yards, that's great, but sometimes, you know, you have to go a little bit, you know, outside of what people would consider the norm, as long as it's a good situation and it's not detrimental to the dog's well-being. You know, I know that a lot of people drive trucks and have dogs, and you know, they're perfectly happy. You know, the dogs enjoy the road. You know, they get exercise, they get love, they get taken care of, and you know, it's a bond. It's a one-on-one. It's truly a one-on-one bond, and those dogs are, you know, happy and healthy, and you know, everybody's good. Anyway, how much time do we have left? Okay. So yeah, if anybody's got any suggestions for me, let me know. And oh look, the guest for the next show is in the house. It's Bulge Red. How are you? Yeah, right? Yeah, he doesn't see enough of me. Okay. Anyway, so Paw Prints 713, if you've got any suggestions, at AOL.com. PAWPRINTS 713 at AOL.com. If you've got any suggestions for dogs. And you know, you can also email me at that address, or reach out to me on Facebook if you've got any dogs that you want to put up on the show. Always willing. I did an article last week for some dogs in Bridgeport. You know, I'm always willing to write it up. I'm always willing to put it on the show. You know, that's what I'm here for, is to help. And I will do so any way I can. And you know, if you've got a dog you want to bring on the show, by all means, reach out to me. I'm happy to have them on, looking for a home, whatever the case may be. And there's my cue. So I will say, peace, love, and dogs. Until next time, good night.
I'm Greg Allman from the Allman Brothers Band. If you take a trip down to Macon, Georgia, and pay a visit to the Allman Brothers Museum, you'll find a big house full of incredible memories. In 1999, I was diagnosed